construction process so as to make the construction compliance. Appropriate technology is not always high-tech. Simple and local techniques can also serve the purpose. Wider stakeholders, coordination, collaboration. Municipal staff is the key. Local groups, local champions are other stakeholders to consider. Demonstration projects. And usually we say lack of resources is the problem. And we say corruption is the problem. In most of the case, developing countries, people say that resources and corruption is the problem. But we say resources and corruption is not the problem, is not the real cause. Corruption stands somewhere in third or fourth rank. Awareness and capacity are the key factors for ensuring safer construction. Trained mason groups also key. We form trained masons groups, and they are also key to help ensure safer construction. IT tools, mobile applications, social media is also another way to influence the process. Here is the key. Here is the key that we learned. Awareness is good, capacity is good, but for ensuring everything retains, for ensuring everything continues for the future, decision makers are the key. And you have to work with the decision makers, mayors. Once they decide, then only it will sustain. That is one of the major lessons. And decision makers must believe that their decision works, must know that, must have the capacity to act. Yet more important, as I said, long-term process, long perspective is needed, persistent effort is needed, perseverance is needed. It's not a job of 2 years, it cannot be done in a project mode. That's what we learned. It has to be done in a mission mode for many, many years. Then only you can ensure building codes are complied, buildings safety or building culture of safety is ensured. That's what we learned, and we have been continuously working through that. So with these lessons, I conclude my summary of the presentation, but I'm keen to listen to you questions or any other ideas onto that, any key lesson from your part or any suggestion for us. We have 7 or 8 minutes more. Yeah.
Thank you for the presentation. I come from Vietnam with very different situation, not intensive disaster like in Nepal, where thousands of people dead, and $1 million could arrive to Nepal. In Vietnam, it's extensive disaster. Every year, 5,000 houses destroyed or 10,000 houses destroyed and 100,000 damaged, but few victims from typhoon or storm. I would like to give one image. When I buy a shirt, like this, I buy the shirt good quality, $20 or $30, I don't remember. And it could last 5 years. I can wash every week, and it will be perfect during 5 years. If I am poor, I bought a shirt $2 from China. And after 1 year, there is small hole, small crack, but I can use as a shirt during 5 years or 10 years. If I am poor, I have to build my house. I buy a, common in Vietnam, iron sheet, very thin, bad quality, with very weak nails. After 1 year, there is some holes, but I arrange with some plastic. After 5 years, the same. And during 10 years, I pay much less, and it will be a roof. Some big typhoon and roof. So what I would like to say that, and it's based on 20 years experience, then the family poor, when they build their house, what they decide, they want to reduce maximum the cost of building materials. It's not a question of cost, but they don't use coal. They want to reduce. They make column of concrete with only 3 very small bars, okay. And they put on a roof iron sheet, very cheap, okay. Because they think that at the time, they don't calculate on global cost maintenance of building. They calculate, okay, I can save this money I saved before to build my house to be safe and no rain inside. Okay. And the money I have to pay for education for my children, for health, to buy new equipment for my farm or for whatever. So they don't calculate, oh, my iron sheet will last only 5 years. Okay. They build it cheaper. So in Vietnam, we have working like you from demonstration to like new building codes, which are some shells in the ministry. I was just returned. We finished a project recovery reconstruction in central Vietnam after typhoon last year. And when we make training, demonstration, training of mason, yes, they say, yes, technique to reinforce the roof is very useful, very important. We have to do it, we know to do it. It's very simple to do. But they will not do. Because the owner will say, oh, I don't want to spend more for this. So we continue because we are optimists. We think we'll change. There will be some more change, but it's a very, very long, as you say. Culture of safety is a long-term process. So, and we make a notebook and a leaflet like everybody. Okay, it's good to have fun during the meeting. So. What you say for me is very interesting when you put the three, the government, municipality, the construction worker, and the family. How to join these three elements and to make a relation of trust and work together, because if one is missing, you are not successful. Thank you.
Any other comment?
Yeah, maybe you can just take one more.
Sorry if I was talking.
No, it's okay. Yeah. Another session is going to start in a few minutes.
No, thanks for sharing your experience and proving from this experience what is working. How do we pass it on to others? Have you helped bring other partners on the same path? And I think you mentioned something about masons being poorly paid and not having the same social status. So how do we increase and strengthen the condition and status of masons in particular?
Question?
Maybe you could just, okay. Last one, but it is not present.
Hello. Yes, I'm Kishore from Mauritius. I've just listened to what my friend from Vietnam have said and your presentation from Nepal. I'll tell you that from my point of view, we also have the same problem, but we call it cyclone, they call it typhoon. But we had a very major cyclone in 1960. And from that time, when reconstruction started, I tell you, the whole country was aware that they have to build stronger. And now if you come to Mauritius, you will see that there are so many buildings that are unfinished, but they are very strong. They are bringing even strongest building. Well, I think this is part of resilience. But I'm wondering why in Nepal, you people have earthquake quite often. Why this resilience among the community is not there? This is my question.
I'll try to keep my views.
Very, very big.
I don't say answers, but my views on a couple of questions, very short.
Very short.
Very short.
You can keep continuing just like
maybe
this.
in our part, the memory of the disasters, the frequency of disaster is quite, we have large earthquake in many years. That's why the memory is short-lived. Maybe because of that, people keep on building non-earthquake resistant houses for long. That may be one reason. That's good that in Mauritius, it's been better. On building technology, I think this is something a little bit different than buying a shard. I defer to that. There are range of options in terms of technology. A person can build a reinforced concrete expensive house. earthquake resistant or non-earthquake resistant. At the same time, a person with low amount of money, even with mud bricks, there are technologies to make the mud bricks better than what they used to do. So there are technologies to make earthquake resistant stone buildings, timber buildings, adobe buildings, brick buildings. So I think we are talking about not cheaper solutions, with cheaper materials, better solutions. So on your question, raising status of masons, we are trying different options. For example, these masons groups, they form the trained masons groups and try to formalize it, and through that they are trying to get the status, social status. And they are trying to get it registered with the municipality. When they got registered with the municipality and they get recognition from the municipality, that also helps to raise the status of the municipality. We're trying to, from the central level also, we are trying to recognize the masons, as well as trying to have policies that only trained masons are allowed to construct. So these ways we have been trying. And for the sustainability, as I said in one of the slides, that work with many partners, not just us. For example, bring private organizations like private training institutions, private consulting firms also on board, so that there will be many agencies, organizations working together for this cause. And ultimately, for the sustainability, what we learned is ultimately this has to be institutionalized. I mean, as the madam said, it has to be ultimately enforced by the government, by the policy, then sustainability ensured. Otherwise, people like us doing things, good demo, but that may continue or that may not continue. To continue to make it sustain, government enforcement is required.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Really like constrained by the time. So may I just suggest we take our individual questions like with Surya outside on our individual level. Thank you very much for staying.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah.